Hey, fifth grade, it's time for social studies again. Over the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about the causes of the Civil War. And we've looked at the northern part of our country and the southern part of our country in particular. And we've talked about slavery and how that was pretty much in the south. And in the north, we had some manufacturing going on. We've also looked at our own state and where it is geographically kind of in the center, separating the north and the south. Today, we're going to start talking about some of the key events during the Civil War. But before we do that, we're going to look at some statistics and try to make a prediction as far as which side would win just based off of looking at numbers. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you. Oops. I want you guys to still see me. And I'm going to bring this up. All right, so hopefully you guys can all see this. Now on my northern side, I have some statistics over here for you. So like I said, we were a manufacturing, the north was a manufacturing industry heavy area. There were 101,000 factories. The north manufactured 97% of the country's firearms. So when we're talking about making predictions based off of these things, the north was able to produce as many guns as they needed to. There were $234 million available through the banks. So most of our banks were in the north. We've talked about that. 94% of our cloth was made in the north. Now the cotton's coming from the south, but we can make 94% of the cloth. Like I said, we were an industrial powerhouse in the north, so large industrial facilities. 96% of railroads and locomotives were located in the north, so more railroads and those big engines, the locomotives that are going to carry supplies. 21 million people in 23 states, so a lot of people in the north, and the north ended up having 2,672,341 soldiers. Now when we look at the south side, 7 out of 8 military colleges were located in the south. So we were getting the majority of our trained officers were in the south. Only 1/9 of the industry was located in the south. But there were 9 million people, including 3.5 million slaves in all 11 states. So there were 23 states in the north, 11 states in the south, 9 million people, 21 million people in the north, okay? In the south, something they had going for them is that they could produce all the food they needed. We're, like I said, agriculturally based in the south, so there are lots of farms. $74 million available through the banks, so not nearly as much in the north. 21,000 factories, so again, nowhere near the number of factories. And then we had 750,000 to about 1,227,890 soldiers in the south. So both sides had interesting things going for them. Based off of these numbers, which side do you think would win the war? So I'm going to kind of leave you with that hanging because we're going to move on to our actual assignment for today. And you're going to be researching a specific event from the Civil War, one of the key events from the Civil War. All right, so you'll find resources, and if you're working with your teacher, they're probably going to assign or let you select depending on what they decide. So you're going to be researching a specific event from the Civil War, one of those key events, and maybe that will help us better determine who would win, the North or the South. All right, so that's all for today. and I will see you again on Wednesday. All right, bye guys.